So let's get to solutions, right? That's what everybody loves. How to go from force to flow, right? How to go from a state where you're grinding and you have to push every day is exertion. And you get up feeling like, oh, another day of the grind, right? And you can sustain that for 6 weeks, 6 days, right? If you have enough David Goggins videos, right? And then you switch to David Goggins, then you switch to Jocko Willink. You switch from Jocko Willink, and you switch to the new motivational guy, and then it's Alex Hormozi. Then it's a da-da-da-da-da, and then you recycle it, right? And you're constantly having another man tell you what to do 24/7, right? Because that's how much lack of control you have over your own skeleton. And we don't want that. You're a sovereign man, right? So the key is to go from force, where you feel the need to force your way to something that you claim you want. But here's the funny thing. If progress is everything, we just went over, so progress feels good. Progress is what you want, right? No matter what it feels like, what you want to see is I'm growing, I'm progressing. And pain is stagnation, right? That signal of, man, I could be way more, and all stagnation, pain, right? But remember, pain is not weakness. Pain is not weakness. It is a signal for change. Pain is not a weakness. So if you feel low self-esteem, low self-confidence, that is a signal that you are not living up to what you're capable of, right? But the thing with force, why do I have such a thing with force? Isn't discipline good? Can't you get stuff done using force? Yes, you can. But it's about for how long, right? Force is only required when there is friction. Force is only required when there's friction. But then the question becomes, is there a way to move through life that's friction-free? Where you just do the things you know you need to do. Of course. So this is where actually getting to the cause comes into play. We talked about identity scripts. Now we're going to get into what these things are, right? Identity scripts are protective behaviors. Protective behaviors that keep you alive. Protective behaviors that keep you alive. Now you may be like, keep me alive. Yeah, keep you alive. When you hear the word alive, you probably think in the physical sense, right? Your physical form, your heart, your hands, your brain. And you think, okay, it prevents extinction. Right? So there's physical extinction, and then there's mental extinction. Right? When an identity script activates, most of the time it's preventing mental extinction. How you see yourself, who you believe yourself to be, cannot be destroyed at all costs. And so until you understand, often these things are terms like self-image or self-concept, things of that nature. But fundamentally, we're talking about identity, right? And the identity must be protected at all costs, because if you go extinct, there's nothing to save. So if your goals don't align with your protection mechanism, it will always feel friction. And so your goal is to align your identity scripts to where it defends you against anything that destroys your vision. So you go from a man that goes, oh man, I don't want to get up early in the morning because it's tiring and I can't get up at 6, to if I don't get up at 6, it compromises who I am. and you just naturally do it and you feel excited about it. You love it. It's a very different state. You go from, oh man, that girl's too pretty for me, I can't go over and talk to her, to boom, oh, I'm the type of man that has to go over and go for everything he wants, because now the identity that is protecting is the version of yourself that's excellent, not the version of yourself that's mediocre, right? So these scripts must be revealed, removed, and re-engineered. Revealed, removed, and re-engineered. Revealed, removed, and re-engineered. Most of the time, unfortunately, when you go on YouTube and you look up productivity hack, or you look up, what is the other thing? Motivational videos. Or you look up, what else is there? Whatever the thing may be, right? Affirmations. These things are useful if they don't go against your identity scripts. If they do, you can, for a day, for a week, for a month, maybe sustain them. However, those scripts are going to kick in at some point. And then, oh, it's been a day. It's only been a day. I only missed a day. Oh, it's only been 2 days. It's only been a week since. It's only a month. And before you know it, you're right back where you used to be. And then it hits a certain point where you're like, dang, I fell off again. I fell off again. I'm doing the old things I used to do again. And you're like, how did I get back here? And you just look at that mountain and you're like, man, will I ever scale that mountain? And even if I get to the top, can I maintain that? It already takes so much to just do the actions. And then I'm going to have to get to there, and I'm going to have to sustain this all the time. Force is not the way. Force is not the way. You will eventually burn out. It has to be flow. You have to want to be there. You have to want. You know what they say at the top of mountains? It's I think the air is like less, there's like less oxygen in it or something like that, right? But if over time somebody is born in a high altitude part of the world, over time their lungs actually adapt to the low oxygen levels. And so they can breathe and operate in ways that if you were to go up there, you'd find hard to believe, right? But what happened, right? They adapted to the situation. They adapted to the altitude. So that's their natural. And so similarly, on your way up to whatever goal of success that you need, that you desire, right? You must correct your decision mechanism to make sure that it is in alignment with the peak. Because if it is more in alignment with the base of the mountain, no matter what you do, you'll never stay at the top. You'll always come back down to where you feel safest. And if that's the bottom, that's the bottom. Right? And so that's the solution. Remember, we have to reveal them. What are they? How do you get to them? Then when you reveal them, now we have to remove them. Out with the old scripts. Re-engineer into the new scripts. And then you will notice this effortlessness in your behavior. And as I said, most people always describe it as, I forgot I used to do that. It feels so different in such a short period of time when you do a re-engineering process that it is like your old life was not yours. And that's how true transformation works, to where you know, yeah, I can never go back to the bottom. That's not even in alignment with my identity. And that is when you know the change is permanent. No more temporary productivity videos, motivational affirmation. All of those things are temporary patches. And unless you want to be disappointed and lose more respect for yourself, you need something permanent. You need flow. No more force. No more force. So check out the final video and I'll let you know how exactly you can go, the exact process from force to flow.